In this video we're going to look over this Rolleiflex 3.5F twin lens reflex camera for type 120 film. This one has a serial number 2206040, and this is one that has the built-in meter and the f3.5 Carl Zeiss planar f3.5 75mm lens. And the camera is being sold as being in condition for parts or repair. It definitely should have a CLA. It looks like it's capable of being functional, and it certainly is cosmetically nice enough to justify having repaired. And there's a little bit of abrasion right here on a high point, I can see, and a little bit of scuffing here on the meter plastic window. We can see that the meter is functioning. As I block this off, we can see the meter moving, so it's responsive to light. I don't know exactly how accurate it is. While we're on the side here, we can operate the focus. And we can see that's pretty smooth. The shutter tends to get stuck on the longer speeds, so I'm only going to actuate it here on one of these, one of the shorter duration speeds. You can see it completed the cycle, but on some of the longer ones it bogs down and sometimes gets stuck, so it definitely needs some lubrication. Here on the window we can see shutter speed and f-stop, and those are somehow ganged together here, and it's a little bit difficult to turn this wheel in one direction. And over here we have one that will allow you to set the f-stop relative to the shutter speed. So this camera also has the removable viewfinder. If we set that aside for a moment, we can see it has a focusing screen here with a kind of a grid pattern on it. And then if we look over here at the viewfinder itself, it looks to be in nice condition. Now if we flip it open, you can see it has the magnifier for close, fine adjustment of the focus, and also it has, I think, what they call the sports finder, where you push that in and just basically look through the back and through the frame here in the front and frame your shot that way. And that installs back on the camera like that. If we go here and open it up, we can flip this lever over there, pull this down, and then the back will open up, and looks pretty good inside. There's a pressure plate here that has two settings, and it looks like you can set it for either 24 by 36, which would be 35mm film, or 6 by 6 centimeter, which is 120. There must be some way to adapt 35mm into this camera. I don't know how you do that, and it may have required some extra parts. And but anyway, it looks like it's got some way of shooting 35mm. Knobs generally turn. We checked out the focus earlier. I'm not sure if this, I think when there's film in the camera and it's loaded, this won't continue to just turn like that. But it does, that cocks the shutter. And then there's a lock here. The camera comes with this fitted case, and the case has a bit of wear on it, but it's still functional. If we lift the crank out just a little bit so it goes through the hole there. Then we can lock this on each side, and then the camera can be used while it's in the case, because we can access the crank here and see the exposure counter. And on this side it almost looks like maybe there was something that snapped in here that covered this part. I don't have that. All that I have of this case is right here. Certainly has some wear on it, but it is functional and will protect the camera. It's likely protected the camera all this time. Looks like there used to be some stitching along here that's come loose. So that is a look at this Rolleiflex Twin Lens Reflex 3.5F.